Hi, my name's Crystal Payne from MoneySavingMom.com, and you're watching Delmarva Life.
Crystal has some great tips coming up, especially if one of your resolutions is to save money. You don't want to miss it. Well, it's a risk every homeowner is subjected to when the temperature dips below freezing. Pipes that freeze, then burst.
Preventative maintenance is the best way to avoid such a plumbing disaster. And even though we're well into winter, it's not too late to take action. As Brian Spiros explains in today's Angie's List report, in extreme conditions, you may need to hire a professional. But as a homeowner, you can do a lot to prevent problems yourself.
Frigid temperatures during the winter months can lead to a disaster no homeowner wants to encounter: frozen pipes that burst without warning.
Literally just an ice ball starts forming at the coldest part, and then depending on how cold, that ice ball will start working its way backwards, right? Start freezing and filling up the line. Then when you actually have a problem is when this line bursts. And the reason it bursts is simply that it runs out of room for the ice. It runs out of places to go.
So the big question, how do you prevent a pipe from freezing and bursting in the first place? According to Angie, locate all exposed cold water line pipes in your home. These pipes are mostly found in your basement, crawl space, and garage. The pipes at greatest risk are often located in an outside wall.
You never want to get to the scenario that you actually have a pipe freeze and burst, because it creates a huge mess and it's really costly. Because especially, notoriously, what happens is pipes freeze at night when it's extra cold, and then you end up potentially not noticing the damage, or you're calling a plumber in the middle of the night. All of that leads to, more cost and more mess. One member reported having to call a plumber out in the middle of the night, and it cost over $400 to have the repair done.
Once you know what pipes pose the greatest risk, you can then take preventative measures. Angie says insulating them is key. You can do this by using a pipe sleeve or something called heat tape. Both can be found at most hardware stores. But if you want to go a step above that, you can hire a qualified plumber or handyman to insulate your home's plumbing. However, that does come at a cost depending on the size of the job. But keep in mind, opening cabinets to allow heat at your pipes and running the water slightly can also help.
If you're just without water at a certain fixture, so your kitchen sink has neither hot water nor cold water, your best bet is going to be to open up those cabinets, turn your faucet on, try to get water moving through there. If there's at all a trickle, be sure to leave the faucet on. That trickle will eventually melt the rest of the ice in there, and open the line all the way up.
Something important to also consider when paying attention to your pipes, Angie says do not wrap hot water lines because insulation can melt.
Well, there's two other things that Angie says you need to watch when it comes to your home: your basement and your roof. Angie says long icicles hanging from your gutters, that's a warning sign of possible ice dams on your roof. An ice dam is a ridge of ice that forms at the edge of your roof and prevents melting snow from draining off of the roof. Now, that can cause some serious roof damage. Now, if you do get an ice dam, here's how Angie says you can deal with it. Use a special tool called a roof rake to remove the snow from the roof. Carefully pull it down the slope of the roof line. Never pull the snow across the roof, because you could damage your shingles that way. For immediate action, obviously, you can chip away through the ice dam so that the water can flow through, but be careful. Stop when you get close to the roofing itself. Removing an ice dam can be very dangerous, so it's probably best to go ahead and call a professional. A good place to start is with roofing contractors. Check the estimates and the references of contractors in your area. Gutter cleaning companies might also offer that service. And finally, properly ventilate and insulate your attic so you can avoid an ice dam in the first place. Experts say the main cause of ice dams is an overly warm attic. Now, your basement. Angie says melting ice and snow can pose a big problem there too. To keep water out of your basement, Angie says it's important that you remove snow from basement stairwells, window wells, and all of the walls. Make sure you maintain sloped exterior grades away from your house. Be sure to clean out your downspouts, and if you have a sump pump, make sure that you clean it and test it as well.
Lots to remember. Now that you know how to avoid frozen pipes, we're going to learn what to do if it's too late and they burst. Plus, find out some other helpful tips to make sure your home weathers the next cold snap.
A little bit later on, we're going to help your wallet weather the task of pinching pennies. Do you think you can live on just $35 a week? Well, you can, and we're going to show you how. Delmarva Live, we'll be right back.